This is Benjy here with High Noon. Today we have the big question that almost everybody asks at some point through their journey with sexual integrity and overcoming a porn habit is, do I have an addiction? Is my porn habit an addiction? Is it really something that I should address seriously? Now, this is a very interesting question. So here at High Noon, we have groups that are going on, ongoing groups of men and women, of small groups, about 4 or 5 of them, 4 or 5 individuals in a group, and that's led by a group facilitator. I myself am leading a group right now, and this is a question that almost everybody at some point asks themselves before they take a big action, a big step to really overcome it is, do I have an addiction? So there are typical answers to this that I'm not going to say because we don't want to hear the typical answer. You want to hear the not so obvious stuff. You want to hear the secret sauce from people, from an individual, from people who are actually battling this question, actually overcoming their porn habit and addiction, right? So the typical answer that you'll hear is something in addiction is it affecting your life, right? And of course, these are very valid, but I want to kind of get them out of the way first. Is it affecting your life negatively? Is it consuming your time? Is it affecting your relationships? Is it affecting the way that you think about yourself and about other people? Is it affecting your work? Is it affecting your schedule, your sleep? Is it affecting any part of your life in a negative way? Is it affecting your relationship with a spouse, significant other? Is it affecting the way that you look at them sexually? Are you unable to be aroused by certain things that maybe you were aroused by before? Are you unable to be attracted to men and women anymore, typically? So these are all questions you can ask yourself to answer, do I have an addiction? But there are more important questions to address here first, right? Before we do that, I just want to say that if you find this video helpful at all, I would really appreciate you giving a thumbs up, giving a like to it, because it does help more people find this video, and also you can consider subscribing because this is where we're talking about how to gain sexual integrity and how to overcome porn and kick porn in the face, punch porn in the face, right? So the question that is very important to ask is, first of all, is there do you have an underlying, I'm going to get really honest here, guys. Do you have an underlying motivation to not quit this addiction or habit, and that you are covering this question of do I have an addiction as a kind of a scapegoat, or as a facade, or as a way to not really address the issue at its core, but also pretending like you are getting to the issue at its core? Now, before you get offended, I want to ask this honestly first, and then I'll get to more serious resolutions for you, right? Because the reality is that anyone who's addicted to something, they have a saying that says that addicts make the best liars. And it's true. Addicts make the best liars. But that's not only lying to other people, that's also lying to yourself. So if you find yourself lying to yourself and thinking like, oh, I don't have an addiction. Oh, I don't have a problem. Oh, it's not affecting my life in any way. It's not affecting my relationship with my spouse or with my kids or with my time or my work at all. It's just totally fine. Well, be honest. Do you think you have a problem? And if you do have a problem, do you think we want to get help, right? Those are more important questions to ask yourself, In the typical response that a true addict will say is, yeah, I could get rid of this if I really wanted to, right? I could get rid of this if I really, truly wanted to. And well, if you're watching this video, if you're here at all, then the chances are that you really do want to get rid of this. And the question is, what are you willing to do to expedite your recovery and your process of healing and overcoming this habit? Are you really willing to do the work that it takes to do it? It doesn't have to be a lot of work. It doesn't have to be, paying a bunch of money at all either. It doesn't have to be time consuming. But are you willing to throw away the crutch of pornography, the support system of pornography that you've been leaning on for so many years as a crutch to lean on when you're experiencing stress, depression, anger, frustration, whatever, boredom? Are you willing to throw that away? That old friend that you always go back to, pornography, when you're experiencing those emotions, and live in the light of High Noon, and to live a life that is infinitely more free and joyful and happy and exciting and thrilling that you never thought possible? Then yeah, it's possible, and this is the place for you. So back to the original question of, do I have an addiction? There's no black and white answer to this question. There's no behavioral expert answer to exactly, if you do this or have that, then you're an addict or not. A more helpful question to ask yourself, internally speaking, is, does your current habit line up with your values in what is most important in your life? And if the answer to that is no, then it's a problem. Doesn't matter if it's an addiction, psychologically speaking or whatever, is if your actions do not line up with your values and what is most important in your life, then it's a problem and you need to address it. And you will be happier if you do, as so many people that have been, literally hundreds of people who have been through the High Noon program have experienced and are experiencing right now, is if you cannot align your words and your action, if you cannot align your values and your actions, then it is a problem and you're living in hell. So a helpful exercise you can do is think about this for just a moment. Think about what is the most important thing in your life. Just take a second to think about it. You can write it down if you want. I'll wait. Think about what is the most important things in your life that you value and cherish deep in your heart more than anything in the world. And if you made a list of those things, whatever it may be, it's probably something along the lines of your relationships, your family, your health, your future, your career, your spirituality, your faith, whatever it may be, your growth as an individual. If watching pornography, if acting out sexually does not align with that, then yeah, you have a problem. If you can honestly say that, yeah, my relationship with porn is leading me in a direction that is the opposite of what I want to create in my life, what is most important in my life. And if you are not every single day contributing to this vision that you have for yourself, to what is really important to you in your life, such as an awesome family, etc., whatever it may be, then there's a problem. And I'm not saying it's a problem like you're problematic or you're the problem. No, this is something that we all deal with. We've all been there. We're all dealing with it. And what we find is that everyone who joins a High Noon group, whoever joins our program, gets there and we're all nervous, like, am I the only one who's dealing with this little thing that I've been struggling with in the dark for? And we realize, oh wow, that was silly. It's honestly silly to think that you're the only one. It is silly to think that you cannot find a community of people who just accept, love, and appreciate and respect you. It is silly. And that's what is happening right now in High Noon, and I'm really just so excited for you to join us. But if this video was helpful at all, I really appreciate the giving it a like so that more people can find it. So the question of, do I have an addiction? It's a valid question. It's something that almost everybody that struggles with this does ask themselves internally. But what's more important is the reasoning behind that question, and also what you're going to do about it, regardless of where you may be. At High Noon, we have like this scale of addiction that we identify, like 1 to 10, and we talk about it within our groups and within the program. But overall, regardless of what you do, if you just take a step, if you talk with someone today, if you mention to anybody, if you join a group that's completely anonymous, none of your friends are gonna know that you're joining. If you just take some kind of action, have give and take with somebody about it, then there's nothing to lose. There is nothing to lose. And if you can say like, oh yeah, I don't want to do that because I don't need that, if that's you, I'm sorry, then we can't help you. And that's a big problem, because your actions currently are not lining up with what you truly want, right? And it's possible, just saying, it's possible that you're using this as an excuse to keep your underlying agenda, to keep your habit without really taking action, right? So I would encourage you to just take a leap of faith and join us and take action, right? And that's all we're trying to do, is just help you guys. We have nothing to gain. We have only to give, and we're inviting you to join us, all right? Thanks for watching. Take care.